Following my last video where I talked about being an only child until the age of 9 and then 10, and then seeing that new members of the family needed my parents' full attention, and objectively so. And basically, I was left on my own, almost looking through glass at a world I used to have, and now I was ejected, and I needed to grow up in an instant. So I retreated to the isolation of my room and created my own worlds and, tinkered with my own hobbies and pursuits. And so subconsciously, I think I created my world more and more. And I didn't ever want my security to be ripped from me like it was at the age of 9 and 10. So what I wanted to talk about, and an important addition to my last video, in light of what I've just described, is when it comes to affection and love, the love that was taken away from you at the ages of 9 and 10, as a safety mechanism, what kind of people I typically unconsciously picked. And that is the central point of this video that I want to talk about. I picked, unconsciously I think, relationships and women that would inevitably probably end just so they wouldn't leave me and take away something I valued dearly. Now, just think about that. I'm not making excuses, but when I look at the pattern of my life, the women that tended to be stable, I found a little boring. And the women that weren't boring and that weren't a good fit for me, I gave all my time to, though I never let them into my life completely. I was firm of never wanting marriage, children. I never wanted that kind of intimacy that would probably be taken away from me. Now, this is all in retrospect, now that I'm older. Some of you guys might be saying I'm post-rationalizing to make myself feel better, but I'm just looking at the pattern of women. I've gone out with vastly different types of women, but my vetting process was conveniently almost non-existent, aside from the fact that I found stable, good women that would probably be the right fit for me long term. I just didn't find them that appealing. They weren't exciting enough. And, I always convince myself, I'm a creative, I'm a free spirit. I value my independence. I value freedom, and I still do. I just wanted to talk about the unconscious patterns of somebody like me when I was younger that's picking fun girls and then saying, well, I don't know until I try. They seem great. They're fun. I'm having a great time with them. And when you ask yourself later, didn't you see A, B, and C problem with this girl? Didn't you see that she was neurotic, that she got angry, she was transient, you didn't have anything to talk about really. It was only sex. So I think that's what I did. I looked at the superficialities as the only attraction. I accepted the fact that women were never going to be intellectually interesting, especially given the women I picked. In a sense, I had my Chad moment later in life, and I was determined to have the fun I missed out on because I was so isolated. So I was on holiday. And for most of my life, I was having fun with women. A lot of people travel. I always joke I traveled with women, staying right where I was. I just visited a whole bunch of different countries called Jane, Jenny, and Janice, and enjoyed myself. And then I ultimately came home from my vacations back to my safe place and then planned another adventure. And I kept doing this for my entire life. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just trying to look at the patterns and where my leanings may have come from. Being so independent from a very young age, not really having any male mentors to tell me, hey, what are you doing? Or even a friendly chat and saying, you know what you're doing now? Or have you asked this girl A, B, and C? Or haven't you ever wondered with this person that perhaps, D, C, and E have come to light? Don't you notice those things? So I was just left to my own kind of neurotic defensive insecurities. And I kind of planned a very safe path where nothing would hurt me anymore. And there's nothing wrong with not being hurt, but I'm just trying to paint a broad picture and clarify why certain decisions are constantly made. Why perhaps you are, telling yourself, well, I don't like this kind of person. I'm attracted to this kind of person. Yet, if you ask yourself about the qualities of that kind of person, they're just not good for you long term. And if I ask myself, honestly, I was never interested in the long term, not because I didn't want to. And I always do want to. I look at my friendships. I have lifelong friendships. But that aspect, the intimacy, the love, especially from a major female figure, I never wanted to be hurt like that again, probably. I thought it was just something interesting to convey, that where we could be picking things that don't make us happy just because we're trying to protect ourselves from some past trauma. What better way to guarantee you'll never be hurt again than by being with somebody that you really don't care that much about, you don't really click with 100%, perhaps 70, 80% of the way. And then you buttress that with all of your big brain knowledge that, oh, well, women are very different to us, so of course they can't be the same as you. Just think about a lot of your patterns and be honest with yourself. And then when they leave, you feel hurt to varying degrees depending on how you broke up and what you valued. But I guarantee one thing, I'll never be traumatized as much as I was when I was a child. You can't be. You don't have the skills to recover. In a sense, when you look at it, I fell in love with my own space. Anyway, something to think about, gentlemen. I'll talk to you later. If you appreciate my videos, feel free to donate, comment, share, and subscribe. Links below. Thanks for watching.